Redditors that worked with a dating company, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, etc. What's the most insane user stat or behind the scenes fact you found out about? I have a friend who works for, I wanna say Tinder. Anyway, the company isn't important. What is important is that her entire job is to remove inappropriate images. Her job is to look at dick pics all day. 5 days a week. That's all. No stat. Just a weird job. My ex-BF worked for the Yahoo Italy dating site back in the early-ish 2000s. His job was to pretend to be a woman and message male customers just as their accounts were going to expire. This would encourage them to pay to renew their subscriptions. Once they renewed, he would ghost them. He only lasted for a few months due to how unethical it was. My old boss was the financial controller of a big dating site. He kept on seeing these big invoices for modeling agencies and initially thought it was because of the big parties they used to host. When he asked about it, it turned out it was just content for the fake profiles they created to lure in users. I'd really be interested in what someone working at Ashley Madison or Gleason has to say. Most dating sites and apps are owned by one company, the Match Group. They have a near monopoly. I think Bumble is one of the few not owned by them. I would love to know how openly cynical the algorithm really is. My feed on Hinge shows absolutely no one I am interested in. And suddenly, the roses feature pops up. I am interested in all the people in the roses section. But, oh, it's you, a cute thought to buy one rose. Which is no guarantee of a match. Much less a date. They want to keep you using the app and spending money for as long as possible, and their slogan designed to be deleted is such BS it's comical. And you can't turn to other apps because they're all owned by the same corporation. This was years ago now. But I used to work with a guy who had been an engineer for Match.com. He said 99% of the profiles were inactive, and that 80% of the active profiles were men. He didn't provide numbers but also said there was a huge disparity between the average number of messages sent to women versus those sent to men. According to him, all told the site was mostly men reaching out to dead profiles and never getting responses. As I said, however, this was years ago. So it's entirely possible that they've cleaned the site up since then. Not sure about Match, but I know Tinder automatically removes you from the lineup, so to speak, if you've been inactive for more than 7 days. Not been working, but a friend wrote her master thesis about the different criteria in online dating and real life. Almost half, 43%, the female participants who were in a relationship told they'd never have swiped right on their current partner. Other interesting results were that over 60% of men they wrote with on apps and agreed to go on a date would have no chance if they asked in real life. Edit. Since many asked about the thesis, I'll ask her if she can share it here, but be prepared. It's in German. As to the second point, lots of gay guys get banned from Grindr selling weed. Would get a lot of emails of why am I banned. A couple met on the dating app I worked on. Unfortunately, the man passed away and the lady returned to the app where they met for remembrance. One day, a bug in the system made some profile likes to be sent again after months, and she received one from her deceased boyfriend. Her bug report was heartbreaking. The reason I found my partner, we have a child together, etc., is because she handed her phone to a friend who accidentally swiped up while taking the phone and super liked me. We used to create fake accounts and chat with users. It was everything from someone having a premium account that wasn't getting responses to bored employees. Approximately 9,000% of women from the Pacific Northwest love adventure. Addicted to traveling, coffee dogs, wine, the office, the 1975, their family, loving and caring people, laughing, being laid back, and good food, not bad food, pickup lines, sarcasm, working out, hiking, Frank Ocean. Also, does anyone want to play two humbler brags? One obviously false fact. I never worked at OkCupid, but years ago I reported a few profiles and then they made me a mod. There were more fake or scam profiles than dick pics. We think some profiles were reported just because someone didn't like how they acted. But once you start image searching, you would typically find that those profiles are fake or belong to real people that are definitely not on a dating site. There were a bunch of accurate and proven catfish reports. And a lot of cute pets. Pictures have to be of you, not your dog, and we would comment for the other mod's cute dog that breaks rules. Also Google the image of the dog and sometimes find out that it's someone else's dog. I worked for Match for a couple years. This is probably widely known, but women frequently lie about their age and weight and men lie about their height and salary. Also, it's a big problem that women are inundated with DMs while most men get none. I used to moderate OkCupid. The amount of unsolicited dick pictures men would send women, not even accompanied by any words, was horrifying. I mean, you'd expect it because online dating is a cesspit, but the sheer amount would still surprise you. I had to look at each reported picture and say yes, that's a penis. The creator of Match.com got cheated on. She left him for a man she met on Match.com. A dude with over 2,000 right swipes and no matches. I used to work at a dating site in the UK. I was on the tech side, but most of the staff was a group of young women who manually approved images and text changes to profiles. There was about 10-15 of them and the turnover rate was about 1 a week. The work was just so mind-numbing. About 10 times a day they'd shout that they'd got another one, which basically meant one of the hundreds of thousands of men on the site has differently thought I've thought of something nobody else has tried. I'll upload a picture of my cock, at which point they'd all laugh at it. Should put a serious tag on this. I'm genuinely curious about the answers. I tried to sign up for Match years ago, but they denied me because nobody in the system matched me. My takeaway from this: I'm screwed. Between the pandemic, my lack of social skills, and a burning shyness and introversion, I'm going to be a 40-year-old virgin. Edit. Whoa. Was not expecting to come back to this. I appreciate all the kind words and tips. I've been working on improving myself along with my social skills, but it's been difficult with everything going on. You all take care of yourselves. So back before online dating, I worked at one of the telephone dating companies. Voicemails, live chat, stuff like that. They are all out of biz now. Lots of interesting tidbits. The people who make the ads for those services are just regular people. Moms. Little old ladies. Was rarely men as you'd think. Only men paid to chat or send messages. Didn't matter if you were gay or straight. Women were totally free. One of the services was created by a gay fellow who wanted to meet dudes. So he reviewed all the profiles for the best guys. The people who recorded the prompts were just regular office people, not professionals. I recorded a set one time and some dude called up asking if he could meet me cause he liked my voice. No homo. We used to regularly review ads posted by customers to prevent prostitution ads or overly explicit public stuff. One time a guy recorded his public ad. Hi, I'm Chuck and I have a pickup truck. If you wanna in my truck, call Chuck. How many Perky The Office fans are out there? Based off my research, this figure is in the millions. Along with men who are overly competitive about everything. Whose go-to karaoke song is Africa by Toto and are looking for a woman who doesn't take herself too seriously. I forget the source, but I remember hearing one of the sites come out with data that suggested that women were way more picky than men. Men would typically be attracted to about half the women they saw, whereas women were only attracted to about 10% of men. There was also some stuff on certain SZs and ethnicities getting more attention, but I don't want to get too much into that one. Just Google if you are curious. Not shocking, I've seen my men friends on these apps. Swipe everyone. Filter matches later. A ton of female ads are fake. There's literally databases full of setup data for dating sites. The big ones use them too. I don't know if it's changed, but with the classic "not me but" My roommate used to work at one of the big dating apps, and one of the issues they had was that their algorithm changed at one point to more emphatically enforce dating pools where people who got more right swipes would only see profiles of people who get more right swipes, etc. With the idea being that it would put people in similar tiers to actually match. One big issue they were having was, well, racial preferences or racism being pretty amplified as a result. Black women and Asian men especially were being overwhelmingly shuffled down the algorithm because there are a lot of people who will basically automatically swipe left on them as soon as they see they're a black woman or an Asian man, even if they were hot as hell. Also apparently, the issue was less severe among women seeking women but even more extreme, to an insane factor, among men seeking men. Tinder employee looks at dating data. Ho, this is Ed up. Tinder employee. OkCupid have a series of blog posts analyzing data such as this. Look up Octrons. It's fascinating stuff. Yes, someone linked to these in a previous comment. I've had a read through. Definitely some interesting stuff in there. Vegetarians are more likely to be into oral, for example. Reading this thread has made me not feel so weird about meeting my wife in a psych hospital. We were both on involuntary holds. Online dating sounds depressing AF. RIP the next generation. This is sad. TBH after a 13-year relationship. The online dating scene is a meat market. Even if you meet somebody, the number of people you don't match with starts affecting your self-esteem. Like, I'll never forget the hot midget that matched with me and never responded. Just saw a TikTok with this exact premise. I saw a TikTok about a girl who downloaded all her data from Tinder. That was my inspo. I downloaded my Tinder data. Not nearly as exciting as I hoped. You honestly find anyone from these companies that will reveal anything crazy. But what people should know is that dating sites apps are legit 80% men. So unless you're devilishly handsome or have something else to compensate for a lack of looks, you're just not gonna get anywhere. Imagine there's 100 people on a dating app. 80 men and 20 women. In reality maybe 5-7 of those women are worth pursuing. Because obviously not every woman is attractive. You are competing with 79 other dudes for 5-7 women. Your chances are slim to none assuming you're even average. So long story short, you're 1000x better off flirting and getting numbers IRL as opposed to being another card in the deck on some mediocre app. So the solution is to become gay? As a dude and a normal human being. Many apps seed attractive bots to keep people engaged. The bots will respond to a couple of substandard questions. How was your week? What are you looking for? Full stop. Then ghost. Despite the ghost, the high of matching with a super attractive person that spoke to you is enough to get many people hooked and chasing the dragon. I have a theory, and proven, I work on the comm side not engineering, that these bots created ghosting culture. The bots just abruptly stopped chatting, which isn't how a normal actual human ends a conversation, but people became so used to it happening to them. They started doing it to others. Learned behavior. I worked with Bumble for about a year and the most insane user stat is that Redditors are always horny and will stick anything up their butts. A bit left field. But I got to work with Nectar card shopping data for non-UK folk. That's like a store card that tracks purchases. Basically, I had a big list of people's shopping receipts. We couldn't even start to explain it. But there was strong correlation between people buying fresh broccoli and condoms. At the same time, my thoughts are that it's men who are making dinner for a date. Broccoli is like the go-to vegetable that makes you look like an adult who can cook properly without actually putting in a lot of effort. You're not a hideous monster. You're just not favored by our algorithm. A female who matched with 12 guys after hundreds of swipes and they all didn't turn up at the date. I wouldn't go on a 13-way date either. I worked for Successful Singles in 2001. It was a dating agency. We cold called customers to get them to spend $3,000 to be professionally matched. We would get some $sign if they showed up. got more if they spent $sign on the service. They claimed to have a highly technological matching computer. This was actually two high school girls in a room with two filing cabinets. One labeled male, one female. All leads came from a fake profile on Match that said send me your phone number so we can talk. I personally shut the place down after I was fired unlawfully. Called Fox 25 News undercover and Mike Bodnett came out with a camera in a purse. Place closed 2 days after the report. I'm a 42-year-old happily married man who met his wife the old-fashioned way, mutual friend, in the aughties. And reading this thread fills me with gratitude. My bucket runneth over. Like a woman's DM inbox. Working for one of these dating apps, or rather, the one company that owns and rigs them all, would make me pretty cynical. If I were ever single again, I think I'd avoid dating apps altogether. I'd work on making more friends and getting involved with projects where my talents shone. And ask women on dates who seem genuinely interested in me as a person. Don't mind me. I'm a dinosaur. I did a study on how dating app usage affects someone's narcissistic tendencies, whether adaptive or maladaptive. I found out that someone with a more pathological form of narcissism, maladaptive, is more socially and emotionally impaired when they aren't getting the results they desire. Since narcissism runs on a continuum from grandiose to vulnerable, this shows how damaging this can be for anyone expressing these tendencies. Most people know about grandiose narcissism, but many don't know about the other side of narcissism, which is the vulnerable side. The best way I can describe these people are these are the ones who look for someone to idolize and will do anything for that person. Since they are looking to fulfill a sense of self they are missing, they look to others for that purpose, hence the idolizing. Dating app usage is extremely dangerous for these people because they spend hours searching for someone, and when they don't match with them it causes a narcissistic injury. The two rules still apply. 1. Be attractive. 2. Don't be unattractive. After reading a lot of these, I feel very fortunate that as a guy I was able to land dates with several different women from online dating sites. I've heard online dating described as, for women, it's looking for a diamond in a sea of dick pics. For men, it's shouting into the void. Pretty accurate. Although I ended up meeting my fiance registered signee online. Grabs popcorn. I hope this gets answers. Edit. Anyone have dirt on the app Mutual? I read a blog by a guy who used to work for OkCupid. He said the creepiest thing about it is every move you make on the site. Every photo you click on. Every message you send is logged. Also, they keep track of the accounts that receive the most attention. And use their images in their advertising and around the site. All of this in an effort to commercialize and commodify our need for intimacy and human contact. And perpetuate and reinforce culturally imposed standards of beauty. If that isn't creepy, I don't know what is. A guy once called me 85 times in one night because I went to bed instead of calling him, and he likes to teach bitches lessons. Edit. I'll be honest. I misread the question and just thought people were sharing random stats based on their online dating experience, lol. My bad. People think the fake accounts are put there by the dating sites to make people think someone likes them. But they are all scammers that the dating sites work really hard to keep off the site because they know it just makes real users less satisfied. 12 years with a dating site. We want everyone to be truly successful. It benefits us tremendously when you have a good outcome. This is a horrifyingly depressing thread. Most of the girls are bots to get male clients in. Fake profiles stolen right from FB. When the chick, if ever,